Imagine a forest overflowing with honey, so much that bears stop planting acorns. At first, life feels easy, but soon the forest weakens, debts pile up, and growth stalls. That's the danger of the resource curse and sovereign debt crisis. Today we're exploring the resource curse and sovereign debt crisis. By the end, you'll see why some forests struggle even when they seem rich, and how the owl tries to guide them back to balance. Most bears think that more honey or acorns always means more prosperity, but here's the mistake. Too much reliance on one resource or too much borrowing can trap a forest in long-term struggles. So let's start with the resource curse. The resource curse occurs when a forest relies too heavily on a single commodity, such as honey. Bears stop planting acorns, foxes stop innovating, and bees stop diversifying. The forest looks rich, but underneath, it grows weaker and less resilient.
But even forests without abundant honey can stumble, especially when forests borrow too many acorns. That's the sovereign debt crisis. What happens when forests borrow more than they can repay? A sovereign debt crisis happens when a forest borrows too many acorns from others and can't pay them back. At first, borrowing feels easy. More shops, more honey, more growth. But when debts pile up, bears spend more time repaying than producing, and the forest stalls. And here's how the two connect. The resource curse weakens forests from within, and debt crises trap them from outside. Together, they explain why some forests struggle even when they seem rich. The owl, acting as teacher and regulator, warns forests to diversify and borrow wisely, protecting them from collapse. But most bears misunderstand these struggles, so they make mistakes. 3 of these are: Mistake number 1. Bears think endless honey means endless wealth. In reality, relying on one resource makes forests fragile. When honey runs low, they have nothing else to fall back on, and prosperity vanishes overnight.
Mistake number 2, bears assume borrowing acorns is always safe. At first, debt feels like free growth, but over time, repayments drain energy. Forests that borrow too much end up working harder to stand still, leaving little room for new development. Mistake number 3, bears forget the owl's wisdom. Rules and balance matter. Without diversification and careful borrowing, forests collapse under their own weight. The owl reminds them that true strength comes from variety and discipline, not quick gains. Now, here's the surprising part. Sometimes forests with fewer resources or smaller debts grow faster than rich ones. Why? Because they diversify, innovate, and borrow carefully. The lesson is clear. Wealth alone doesn't guarantee strength, wisdom does. So here's the takeaway. The resource curse weakens forests from within, and sovereign debt crises entrap them from outside. Together, they explain why some economies struggle. Next time you hear about growth, picture bears balancing honey jars and acorn debts under the owl's watchful eye.
Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next Doodle adventure.